How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. On today's video, it's a very exciting day today because we just received the intake. So we're gonna install this intake today and listen to the sound that it produces. I hope it's better than the K&N air filter that I installed on the car, and we'll see. It's dyno tuned to have 12 more horsepower on the stock M235i, so we'll see. We're gonna try to drive it and feel the difference in the power. So here's the intake that I'm gonna install today on the BMW, and as you can see, I already opened it up just to make sure there's no damage inside from the shipping. But this intake is compatible to a lot of F series BMW, including 235i, 335i, 435i, or any F series with the N55 engine. And I'm gonna continue the unboxing for you guys to see what's the content inside this box. So before we do the installation, I'm gonna check all the parts inside and show it to you guys. Okay, inside the AEM, you have the instruction manual, some decals. So here we have a detailed instruction on how to install the intake. Plus, it shows here that they dyno tuned the AEM intake to N55 engine, and it gives you a gain of 12 horsepower at 3200 RPM and 20 foot-pound of torque at 3200 RPM. So that's good. So not only the intake looks good, but it also produces power, so that's good. Plus the sound, obviously. The sound is it's a good sound. So here we have the AEM license plate frame. You're gonna put that on your car, that's good. You have the cone filter. So this is the this is not a K&N filter, it's a AEM air filter, and this is the dry air filter. So you don't put oil on this one, not like the K&N that you have to put oil. We have some weather stripping that we have to install on the heat shield to prevent the heat from going to your intake. You have the tube here. So this is where you connect your vacuum line. This is where you're going to connect the mass airflow sensor. And here you have to put the bracket that connects to the grommet of the car. So that's good. So here we have the heat shield for the air filter. So at least with this one, it's gonna prevent the heat from going inside the intake, so you don't lose power. And we have some hardware here. You have the hose for the vacuum line. You have the bracket for the grommet for the engine bay. You have some valve here to connect the vacuum line. You have some stands here for the grommets for the heat shield. And here we have the C clamp, or what do you call this? Yeah, a C clamp for the air filter. So you have your standard nuts and bolts here, hardware. So you have the AEM window here that we have to install it on this box here. See? And it looks like it doesn't fit now. I might have to do some trimming here, so that's a no good. Well, I like AEM brand, but in this case they should make this window fit perfectly, so I don't have to do some rework here just to install it on the car. Now I have to grind up a bit of plastic here just to make this window fit before I can start installing it on the car, so that's gonna take some more time for me. And with the window, when it's installed, you can see the air filter inside, which is pretty cool. You can see if it's dirty or not, and you can always glance at it, and it looks kind of cool in a way that you can see your air filter. So after using the Dremel to trim the edges here so I can fit the window, finally we can install it because now it fits. Not like before, now it fits. You just have to put the 2 screws. So make sure you just snug it in place. You don't want to over tighten it and crack the glass, well, plastic glass. So just snug is fine, see? It looks good. done. Then we have to put 2 stand-ups here so we can install it on the BMW grommet. Okay, it's nice and tight here, hand tight. There you go. So now we have to put the weather stripping. You have to put the weather stripping surrounding this where the pipe is gonna go to have a good seal. Press hard. It's gonna contour to the shape of the opening. Then you cut the excess. So when you're putting the weather stripping, make sure the seam is on the bottom so you don't see it from the top when you install the intake. So we have to use the 90-degree bend here for the vacuum line, and this one that connects to the vacuum line to the engine. So we have to force this thing inside the. So finally we got it. And now I have to do the same thing for the 90-degree bend here. Connect this 90-degree on the intake tube. Slowly turn it because it's plastic. So I'm using this adjustable wrench to turn it. Alright. So I'm gonna install the air filter. Make sure the seam is pointing down, not showing on the window, so at least you know, it looks good on it. Then we're gonna put the C-clamp. So you have to put the C-clamp, but don't tighten it because we're gonna slide this air filter inside that tube there. You need to wiggle it to make it fit. Then you have to tighten the clamp with a flathead screwdriver. Okay, so to take out the intake, you have to loosen this clamp here with a flathead screwdriver. Don't take it out completely, just make it loose. Release the grommet here. This mass airflow connector here is kind of hard to release, so what I do, I just use a pick tool to lift up the connector, the lock on the connector. And easy to take out. Put that aside. So this one is kind of hard to push to release it, so I use a plier. See, the plier is very easy. I have to unclip the box, and now you can lift the take out the air filter and take out the box. Just have to wiggle it to release from the grommet. It's the mass airflow sensor. You need to use a T20. Have to wiggle it to take it out. There you go. So the pointed section should be pointing to the air filter, and install back the T20 screw. So tighten them evenly and make sure they're snug. Do not over tighten because you're gonna crack the plastic. So now we're gonna install the intake from AEM. before I install the intake, I have to install this bracket here. Just have to wiggle it. It's kind of like a tight fit, so. I'm gonna start it up to listen to the sound of the intake. So now we're gonna go for a test drive to feel the additional power of this intake. They're claiming that they dyno tuned this intake in gain of 12 horsepower and 20 foot-pound of torque. So now we're gonna drive it to find out if it's if you can feel any power difference. Definitely a lot stronger than before. I don't think they made a mistake about that 12 horsepower gain and 20 foot-pound of torque. So we're gonna do some pulls here. We're gonna see if we. I'm on Sport Plus right now, so. I did some burnouts there in the beginning, so I was losing so much traction. We're gonna try another one. So guys, just came back home and just gonna give you an update or a correction on the installation, because I'm having some problems with this tube here. It's touching the hood when I close it, so you have to flip this bracket upside down where you don't see the screw, so that will help the clearance. So I did that. Now everything's okay, because before it's having a hard time to close the hood because it's touching. So I'm really happy about the AEM intake that I installed on the BMW. So as you can see, when I did the test drive, I really felt the power added to the car. So plus it looks good on the engine bay. Anyway guys, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I have more install and maintenance to do coming soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.